Update 2. My parents sold the land I've been paying taxes on for a decade to my cousin for $100. Family helps family, they said. So I called my lawyer about the access road, and their faces turned pale when. You look like you need this. We drifted away from the crowd, finding shade under the old maple tree. Shanice watched her brother holding court at the grill. I didn't know you'd given up the land, she said quietly. I took a long sip of sangria. Interesting choice of words. She turned to study my face. What does that mean? It means some things aren't given up, they're taken. The afternoon wore on. I played my part, nodded at the right moments, helped Mom clean up paper plates. I watched Cade sketch his dreams in the air with confident hands, watched my parents beam with pride at their generosity. You're being awfully quiet, Dad said as I helped him stack chairs. Everything okay? Just tired, I said. Long week at work. You work too hard, sweetheart. You should relax more, like Cade. He knows how to enjoy life. I set the last chair down carefully. Yeah, must be nice to have everything handed to you. Sophie, I should head out. I cut him off. Early meeting tomorrow. I made my goodbyes, deflected Cad's attempts to show me more plans and escaped to my car. As soon as I was out of the driveway, I pulled over and called Bailey. How was the family circus? My lawyer friend asked. Educational. I watched the sunset paint the sky pink through my windshield. Cad's already planning his resort empire, talking about construction crews and cabin designs without checking property access rights. Bold strategy. He always was an optimist. I drummed my fingers on the steering wheel. It's time, Bailey. Let's shut this party down. You sure? Once we send that letter, there's no going back. Your family's going to lose their minds. I thought about 10 years of tax payments, about Cade's smirk at the grill, about my mother's dismissive wave when she announced they'd sold my future for pocket change. They lost their minds when they thought they could steal my land and I'd just smile and take it. Send the letter. All right, boss. I'll draft it tonight. Want me to make it extra lawyerly? Why not? Make it beautiful, I said, starting my car. Make it sing. As I drove home, I thought about Cad's dreams of luxury camping, about access roads and property rights, about the look on his face when he realized his $100 deal came with $1 million problem. Sometimes karma needs a little help and I was more than happy to lend a hand. Bae's letter arrived on my desk the next morning, crisp and professional on her firm's letterhead. I ran my fingers over the embossed logo while she watched from across her desk. It's perfect, I said, scanning the carefully worded paragraphs, especially the part about criminal trespassing charges. I particularly enjoyed citing the property codes. Bailey grinned. Nothing says, you quite like legal citations. I signed where she indicated and she slipped the letter into an overnight envelope. You know your phone's going to explode when this hits, right? Already prepared for that, I held up my personal phone, set to do not disturb except for you and my boss. Back at work, I threw myself into spreadsheets and client meetings, trying to ignore the ticking clock. The letter would arrive tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, Cad's Facebook post kept popping up in my feed, shared by enthusiastic relatives. Just met with the architect, Whisper Pines Resort is becoming reality, blessed, entrepreneur life. I scrolled past photos of him pointing at trees, standing importantly with rolled up blueprints, posing with various contractors. Each post collected dozens of supportive comments from our family. So proud of you, nephew, Mom had written. Following your dreams. My phone buzzed. A text from Michaela. Saw Kate's posts. You okay? Never better, I replied. Just wait. The next morning, I was in a budget meeting when my phone lit up with Kate's name. I declined the call, then another and another. Everything all right? My boss asked, noticing my distraction. Family drama, I said. Nothing urgent. By lunch, I had 17 missed calls and 32 text messages. I opened the most recent one from Cade. Hey Soph, got a weird letter here, something about the road. Call me. A sap. Mom's messages were less restrained. What are you doing? Call me immediately, young lady. This is ridiculous and you know it. I forwarded them all to Bailey, who responded with a popcorn emoji. My office phone rang. The reception desk. Sophie, your mother's online. 1. She says it's an emergency. Take a message, please. I'm preparing for the Johnson presentation. 5 minutes later. Sophie, your father's online. 2. I worked late, deliberately missing dinner time, prime drop-in hours for angry relatives. When I finally got home, I found Shanice sitting on my front porch. Interesting day, she said, standing as I approached. How long have you been waiting? About an hour. Figured you were avoiding everyone. She held up a bottle of wine. Thought you might need this. I let her in, grateful she brought wine and not recriminations. We settled in my kitchen and she poured generous glasses. Kate's losing his mind, she said. He's already paid the architect and put deposits down with contractors. Sounds like poor planning on his part. Mom and Dad are saying you're being spiteful. I took a long sip. Funny how enforcing my legal property rights is spiteful, but stealing my land is helping family. The road's really yours, Shanice asked. Legally, I pulled the deed from my kitchen drawer and handed it to her. She studied it, whistling softly. You bought this 3 years ago in cash. I'm the practical one, remember? I plan ahead. She handed the deed back, shaking her head. You knew they might do this. I suspected they'd been weird about the land transfer for years, always had excuses why we couldn't finalize it while you paid the taxes and the surveys and the environmental studies and the... My phone buzzed again. Kate. Shanice glanced at the screen. He's called me 6 times today, keeps talking about lawyers. He should definitely talk to lawyers, I said. They'll tell him the same thing Bailey's letter did. He has no legal right to use that road without my permission. And you're not giving permission. Oh, I might, I smiled. For the right price. Shanice's eyes widened. You're going to make him pay. Family helps family, right? I'm helping him understand property laws. She laughed despite herself. You're evil. No, I'm practical and tired of being the family doormat. My phone lit up again, this time with a text from Bailey. Your mother just called my office, tried to argue adverse possession rights. I think I made her cry with property laws specifics. They're not going to let this go easily, Shanice warned. They don't have a choice. I refilled our glasses. The law's on my side and for once I'm not backing down. What's your endgame here? I thought about 10 years of dismissed dreams, of casual betrayals wrapped in family obligation, of smirking entitlement at a barbecue grill. Justice, I said simply. At market rate. I scheduled the meeting for Saturday morning at my house, neutral territory, Bailey had advised. But somewhere I'd feel comfortable. I set out water, coffee and a plate of store-bought cookies, nobody would touch. They arrived as a group, Mom, Dad, and Cade. Perfect attendance for the reality check convention. Before we start, I said as they settled onto my living room furniture.